Stadium in Canton. In Division I, the Olentangy Braves beat Springboro 2-1 to win their first ever Division I title. Adam King from ONN affiliate WBNS TV in Columbus has details.
History was made for one Olentangy school. We told you how the Braves were playing for their former coach, Jeff Riley, who passed away. The team trying to win their first ever state championship, and well,
it's my privilege to give Olentangy the 2025 Division I Baseball State Championship.
That trophy coming home with Olentangy winning 2-1. The baseball team, they are celebrating a historic season.
The whole stadium was Braves people, and the game was in Akron, but we felt like it was in Lewis Center at Braves Field. We'll let it sink in. We're just so proud of these guys and our entire program. It's a great moment for the Braves.
In Division II, Anthony Wayne defeated Amherst Steel 7-3 for their first ever state trophy. Noel Blumel from ONN affiliate WTOL TV in Toledo has the story and explains just how special it was for one area family.
Nothing could have prepared Anthony Wayne baseball for their first ever state title and a trip back to a state championship, this time with a trophy hit home for one family. Just after midnight on Sunday, Mason Jerwa hoisted the Division II state baseball trophy.
It's a dream come true. You know, this group of guys has worked so hard all year. Our one goal is to win a state championship. 13 seniors, we've all played together for our whole lives. It just makes it so much sweeter.
A fitting way to end his high school career, given he was the reason the Generals made it to this stage, walking it off in the regional championship.
It's just such a great feeling knowing that I came from a JV team as a junior last year, and it's paying off in the long run, so I'm just so happy.
While he and the Generals celebrated on the field, an even greater celebration took place in the stands.
It's incredibly special. I mean, especially for my parents and my other siblings, just like, having the opportunity to get to watch two of their kids, compete in state championships in the same year in different sports. It's just, you don't hear of it often.
Back in the fall, Mason's twin sister Ryan led Anthony Wayne to their first ever state volleyball appearance. And after a 5-set thriller, fell just short of the title.
They play off each other well, they really talked about it all season, actually. We talked about how hard it was to get there for the volleyball team, but then, and how hard it was to lose, but then you get a little perspective and you realize how lucky you were to get to that spot. And I think, that's what Ryan had kind of said to Mason this morning, like, you're here, like, you did it.
When I went to her state championship game, when they lost a heartbreaking game, it almost made me sad for her, and I was going to do it for her. Anything in my power to win this for her.
One drive, one family, and now one memory the Jerwa siblings will forever share.
It's the gift of my life, to be honest with you. The fact that they're twins and they both just were such great leaders and really believed that their team could get to this point. And obviously volleyball was a heartbreaker, but the best part about today was that Mason said to his sister, I'm going to do this one for you. It's a full circle moment.
And Mason and Ryan will continue to support each other in this next chapter as they both plan to attend Bowling Green State University this fall. But for now, reporting from Canal Park, Noel Blumel, WTOL 11.
In Division III, the Newark Licking Valley Panthers beat the University School Preppers of Hunting Valley 1-0. This was their first state title as well. Strong defense and a game-saving play in the 6th inning secured the victory. Evan Roberts pitched a complete game shutout. He struck out 8. In Division IV, Lake Catholic brought home its first state title. Chris Rankel of ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland has more.
Talk a little high school baseball. Final day of the state championships, and Lake Catholic bringing home their first ever state baseball title. They take down Sandusky Perkins 3-2 to take home the Division IV title.
In Division V, the Waynedale Golden Bears beat St. Paris Graham 3-0. Sophomore Logan Troyer threw a complete game shutout. In Division VI, the Highland Hawks beat Lake Center Christian 5-4 in a walk-off victory. It is Highland's third straight consecutive state title. The Canton Repository reports that the win makes Highland only the third school in Ohio baseball history to achieve this feat. In Division 7, the Minster Wildcats beat the Newark Catholic Green Wave 8-0. It is Minster's fourth state title in the school's history. Caleb Coos pitched 5 scoreless innings, striking out 7. Up next, the 2025 Ohio high school football season kicks off in less than 2 months, with the first Friday night game scheduled for August 22nd. We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
Morning Juice is now live on YouTube. Join Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Thidoff weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
Just search 971 The Fan to catch the live experience or watch on demand.
The Fan.
This summer, Giant Eagle is making a big splash with a carefree summer sweepstakes and your chance to win free groceries for a year. This June, just spend $10 or more shopping for backyard barbecues, road trip essentials, campfire treats, and everything in between. Then swipe your loyalty card for your chance to win. Only at Giant Eagle. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes ends 6/30/25. For official rules, visit GiantEagleCarefreeSweeps.com.
Newman Roofing is proud to sponsor The Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat fan drive. Help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. Purchase new box fans and take them to the nearest Franklin County fire station or buy online. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
Going up.
Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up.
Going up.
But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button.
Going down.
We've lowered prices. Get one line of 5G data for $40, period. That's 20% lower. And you get a free Samsung 5G phone when you bring your number. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
Matty Ice here from McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Are you looking for an affordable family car? Then the Chevy Traverse is for you. This month at McDaniel GM Superstore, you can get up to $3,000 off MSRP on a 2025 Traverse. Plus, qualified buyers can finance at 6.8% for 72 months. They are just a short drive north of Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Bob Yoakum, president of Rockford Homes, talks about what makes First Bank of Central Ohio different.
I would say it starts by caring. It starts by doing what you say you're going to do and following through on it. When you're talking about local, you're talking about relationships and people that matter to you. I don't care if that's personally or professionally.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Bob Yoakum, president of Rockford Homes, talks about what makes First Bank of Central Ohio different.
I would say it starts by caring. It starts by doing what you say you're going to do and following through on it. When you're talking about local, you're talking about relationships and people that matter to you. I don't care if that's personally or professionally.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Within 15 seconds of logging onto social media, the algorithm has your daughter in its crosshairs. Congress knows, but it refuses to act. Use your voice. Demand a plan. Join us at the Center for Countering Digital Hate, protectingkidsonline.org.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
Bo Bishop is a media legend. We have no idea where the other guys came from. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
The Cleveland Browns and the city of Cleveland are at odds again. Last time, former Browns owner Art Modell moved the team out of state because the city and the team couldn't come to terms on a stadium deal, and our old Browns became the new Baltimore Ravens. Now here we are 30 years later, and while the players involved have changed, the game is still the same, with the exception being a 15-mile move west instead of a 377-mile move southeast. Our good friend Mark Munch Bishop joins us now, and I got to forewarn you, gang, he's neither a fan of the team or its ownership group. Welcome, Munch.
Good morning, Jade. I do want to point something out, that when Art Modell did move the team, he never once came to the public and said, hey, I need a new stadium. If that was the case, we would have been out to the old place with sledgehammers, pickaxes, drills, and hammers to tear it down for him. So just want you to know, and here's the sad part too, is that for decades, and I will say for 6+ decades, I was a vehement fan. I was one that, even though I covered the teams off to the side, I would cry after a loss. I was hopeful in each and every season, and one man alone had ruined that for me, and my life has never been better actually without the Browns because of one name, Jimmy Haslam.
Well, you and I have covered this team in its two incarnations for years. Don't you find it ironic that the core issue is still the same despite the changes in ownership?
Yeah, it is ironic to a point, but, it's only made that way by the ownership. It's interesting that Osborne Engineering, one of the finest engineering firms in the world, did a look over at the stadium, and they said, you know what? The place is structurally sound. It's fine. It's got some wear and tear. The Haslams were complaining because the orange seats were being tainted by the sun. Well, maybe they could take the 37% increase. You heard me correctly. In 3 years, the prime tickets have gone up 37%. Maybe they could take some of that money instead of lining their pockets and put it into putting seats in the building themselves. So the irony is all on behalf of, as I call him, an immoral, dishonest thief, Jimmy Haslam.
And that's the part that I don't understand. I was going to wait till later in the discussion, but Huntington Bank Field is only 26 years old. Aside from the business with seats fading, why is it in need of so many costly repairs, or is that just a facade to justify the move?
It is a facade. The city has come through, said, you know what repairs it may need, we will fix. I will say this. I wish the concourses were a little wider. You know what? With a fraction of what they're going to spend on a new one, they could make them a little wider if needed. But the bottom line is that my two sons still go to almost every game, much to my scorn, but you know what? They are independent young men, even though they have a distaste, too, for what is going on for somebody on that football team. But the bottom line is this, is that when you look at it and they talk about the dome, this and that, it's a Haslam land. It's a boondoggle. That's all it is about the move to Brook Park, is that there has been one game in the last 2 years, perhaps, where they could have used the dome. One game. And you know what? They're not going to be getting all these events they claim that they're going to be getting, because most of these acts touring in the summertime love playing outdoors.
The Ohio House and Senate have both passed budgets. The governor is expected to sign them tomorrow. That includes $600+ million for a dome stadium in Brook Park. Is the issue moot now, or is it going to continue to be debated?
Well, it will continue to be debated because there's still other money that the Haslams need to have, and I can guarantee you Cuyahoga County and other reaches up here will not bow down to their wishes. It's a damn shame that this is going to pass. It's a damn shame that Mike DeWine, who was a dear friend of mine, will sign this bill. There's no doubt in my mind, because we saw it before with First Energy, that there's some backhanded dealings behind the scenes. How can you take money away from other institutions, schools, libraries? I'll go on and on to fund a stadium for a billionaire. Some of the state's representatives have said, well, you know what, he's got $8 billion. He's going to take the team and move. Then fine. Let him take the team and move. There's no need for this to happen.
The team claims a dome stadium and the development proposed around it will enable it to be a year-round entertainment destination and also what they are calling a phenomenal living experience for people who choose to make that their home. Is the city of Cleveland's issue about the actual move, or is it about the loss of revenue that the city will face if this happens?
It's a loss of everything. The move, the revenue, but something else that you're not talking about, Jay. There are businesses that stake their living, their livelihood, put their homes up for mortgaging, to put businesses in the warehouse district, on the East Bank of the Flats, that will be hurt horribly by this area. And studies have already shown that, yes, people, because these are the rabble, the Browns faithful, for some bizarre reason, that I got to be a Browns fan, and excuses are always made after each and every loss. Excuses were made after 3-14 last year. But think about the businesses that will be hurt, not just downtown, but the surrounding areas, Crocker Park, Legacy Village. They say that mom and pop stores in West Park area, on Rocky River Drive and Lorraine Road in Camps Corners, those will be hurt. And even more so, after the initial luster wears out, it's also been noted by studies for people that are less emotional than I am, that the restaurants, et cetera, the businesses down there will do nothing at all, and most of them will fail after a short length of time, be busy only on game days.
Both sides are expected to pay millions of dollars in legal fees when this is over. Will Modell's law stand up in court, or is the fact that the team isn't leaving the county enough for the Browns to proceed?
Well, you know what? It is leaving the city. Let's hope that as a last resort, the Modell law will side against the ownership of the Cleveland Browns and go from there.
At the end of the day, the team will still be called the Cleveland Browns wherever they play. Is that enough for fans, or have we created a scenario where we will have a football team that can only be viewed in person by the very rich?
Well, number one, I'm hearing that I will call it the worst seat in the house. Is there really a worst seat at a sporting event if you get to get in there? But the top row in the corner will be $5,000 each for the season. Now, that is, like I said, the top row seats in the corner. But, I want to point something else out, too. When you talk about, the team moving there and all this other thing that's going on, I've talked to people in other cities. I've done radio in Phoenix. They abhor the stadium in Glendale. What happens, people now that shill for this, the team ownership saying, well, after the Commanders, the Haslams are putting more money into a team, into the teams moved in any other city. Well, they have to remember something. The Commanders are moving back into D.C. proper. The Lions moved back into Detroit. I've talked to lifelong Bills fans. One of them was my boss for years in Columbus in 610 WTVN. And the bottom line is, he said, he lives in Orchard Park. We hate the stadium here, but we're Bills fans. When they did it, and we realized that it will be here for perpetuity. They don't like it either. What don't people realize and see about this? You're going to enjoy, this is just a minor issue too, you're going to enjoy missing your flight because of game day traffic, aren't you, when you're heading to Cleveland Hopkins Airport?
We want to thank Mark Bunch Bishop for being with us to talk about the Browns Stadium, and I have a feeling that this will be the first of many conversations before all is said and done. And there is more Ohio Sports Magazine straight ahead on the Ohio News Network.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognize the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS-TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC-TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
The outdoor drama Tecumseh is back this summer. The drama, the history, and the spectacle make Tecumseh one of Ohio's most beloved traditions. Tecumseh has provided thrilling live entertainment for 50 years, and the outdoor theater at Sugarloaf Mountain will provide a safe and memorable experience for your entire family. Get tickets now at tecumsehdrama.com. This message is made possible in part by the Ohio Arts Council. Tecumseh, experience the drama.
Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
The NBA season is over, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are the champions. For Cleveland Cavaliers fans, the OKC win takes a bit of the sting out of losing to the Indiana Pacers and not advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals for the second straight year. Our good friend Tim Alcorn, the radio voice of the Cavs, joins us to talk about the NBA season that just ended and look forward to training camp. Would you believe beginning in roughly 90 days? Welcome, Tim.
Yeah, Jay, as always, appreciate the invite. Thanks for having me. And you're right. It's a quick turnaround. You think, oh, it's a long off season. Not really. You see video out there already of guys getting in the gym and getting their work in. And training camp will be here late September, and we'll be off and running. So it'll go quick.
The team with the best regular season record won it all. That should matter. Does the current structure of the NBA playoffs de-emphasize the importance of regular season play, though?
No, I don't think so, because when you look at OKC and the fact that they had home court advantage throughout and the fact that they were pushed to 7-game series against Denver and then in the NBA Finals against Indiana, you want that 7th game at home. And so it's a long season. Don't get me wrong, 82 games, and there are times you go, man, does it really have to be this long? But I think in the end, with seedings, with home court advantage, now again, the Cavs didn't capitalize on that. But for the most part, the more you advance and the deeper those series usually go, you want home court advantage.
How important, Tim, is having a strong bench for a team given the longevity of the season and the playoffs?
Oh, Jay, that's a great question, because
As the Cavs demonstrated during the regular season, that deep bench allowed them to play their starters less minutes. And you want those starters fresh as they go into the playoffs, or as fresh as they can be after an 82-game season. So you have to have that bench. We've talked about this for years with Tom Thibodeau, now former coach of the New York Knicks, that he plays his starters 38, 40 minutes a game, and generally it catches up with them in postseason basketball, and that was the case again this year. So a deep bench is critical during the regular season. Now, during the playoffs, the rotations get shortened because you want your best players on the floor for as many minutes as they can be in win-or-go-home scenarios. So you walk a fine line there, but you definitely want that deep bench during the regular season.
Did the Cavs bench fail them in the playoffs, Tim?
I don't know. I think fail's kind of a strong word. Ty Jerome, listen, I'm sure he'd be the very first to tell you he did not play well in the playoffs. Now, or at least against Indiana. He had a good series against Miami, but Indiana, I thought, had a great game plan, and their style of play, they sped Ty Jerome up, and so he was not in his comfort zone as far as that Indiana series was concerned. So there's a little bit of both there. You have to give the Pacers some credit, but Ty did not play well. I don't think DeAndre Hunter played to the level that he wanted to play. So I don't know if it was a complete failure, but they didn't play to the level that they had played during the regular season. There's no doubt.
In prior years, names like Dean Wade and Isaac Okoro were critical coming off the bench. To what degree did they play a factor in the playoffs this year? And, are they potentially expendable as time goes on?
Well, I think that's a fair assessment that, listen, Isaac, again, had a disappointing playoffs, and so they're going to have to figure out how to unlock him in postseason play, and that's way above my pay grade as to how to make that happen. And Dean Wade, I think he's got to be a little more aggressive at the offensive end. He's a terrific defender, but when you get into postseason basketball, it's tough to play 4-on-5, and Dean didn't offer a lot as far as the offensive end was concerned. So, are they chips? Are they not chips? Hey, I'll let Kobe Altman answer that. But with training camp and a few months away, and as you said, it's a pretty quick turnaround. I'm sure he and GM Mike Gansey and Kenny Atkinson will be involved as far as, hey, how do we make this roster better? Because we're right on the cusp. We just got to get over that edge.
The Indiana Pacers finished the regular season, I think it was either 13 or 14 games behind the Cavaliers, who led the East all season long. How did the Indiana Pacers make it all the way?
Well, that's a great question, and I'm sure teams and organizations are going to look at that and try to emulate it. What happened was, and Jay, I know you and I talked about this, that from the first of the year on, Indiana was one of the top teams in the NBA that nobody was talking about. They were 34-14 after the first of the year, so they turned it on. They were healthy, except for the just awful scenario with Tyrese Halliburton in the finals, but they were healthy. They were playing well. They've got a Hall of Fame coach in Rick Carlisle, so it all came together. And as you know, sometimes it's not the team with the best record going into the postseason. It's the hottest team who's playing the best. And nobody was talking about Indiana, but in the East, they were probably playing the best basketball going into the playoffs, and it all just came together for them.
Do you think that Indiana lost that series to OKC because Halliburton was out, or was there another factor at play?
Well, you got your Pulitzer Prize great questions lined up this morning. To me, that's the unfortunate thing about that Game 7, because the Indiana fans will always say, and partially, rightfully so, if Halliburton had played, and it was so unfortunate, not only for Halliburton, but Jason Tatum and Dame Lillard. I mean, the string of Achilles injuries in the playoffs was devastating. I don't know. That's the great unknown. Would they have won the game? I thought going into the game, they were going to beat OKC, but that was just such a devastating blow. I hope it doesn't tarnish that OKC won it, because, listen, they earned it. Best record in the NBA all season long. They have put together that roster and that team beautifully. But, man, that will always be the unknown if Halliburton had played, because he was off to a great start in Game 7.
He sure was. And with them healthy, they're likely to be the team to beat in the East next year, at least from our perspective now. But, pardon the pun, the Celtics, Knicks, and Bucks could rebound.
Right. Although, again, I read the same things that your listeners read and follow. Rumblings are that Boston's got to shed some major salary, so that won't be the same roster that we've seen the past couple of years. Of course, Halliburton's going to be out for an entire year. He may miss the entire 25-26 season. Jason Tatum for Boston won't get back until very late in the 25-26 season. So you could label Indiana the favorite because they got here to the finals this year, but without Halliburton for an entire year, that really changes that dynamic. So to me, you look at the East, and I know, again, I don't get into the odds and all that, but there's some people that are saying right now, as of today, the Cavs would be the favorite in the East.
Well, let's hope from your mouth to God's ears, and I would love to see them back in the NBA Finals at the end of next season. I want to thank Tim Alcorn for being with us. More Ohio Sports Magazine is on deck as we continue on the Ohio News Network.
We here at The Fan want to make your mornings as enjoyable as possible. That's why we bring you T-Bone and Tyvis, a delightful blend of sports conversation and laughter. A show so good you'll forget all about your dead-end job and underachieving children. Maybe you saved a lot of money to send them to private school, and then your daughter shacks up with some dude named Fuzz. And you can't tell if your wife's angry or not because she's had so many filler shot in her face that it can't move anymore. Anyway, T-Bone and Tyvis, it's good.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Lenny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Get Eco.
Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something.
Does it solve a problem?
It solves a big problem.
Get Eco.
Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get Eco.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay Eco to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get Eco to replace it.
Get Eco.
What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying Eco to fix your AC system is like putting money in the bank.
Get Eco. Get Eco. Get Eco.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move. A pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Do your summer plans include travel? Make sure your prep includes more than just flights and hotels. Stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccination, especially if you're 65 or older or have certain health conditions. There have been surges in COVID-19 in the summer, too. It's important to help protect yourself no matter your destination. So check eligibility and schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. That's VAXAssist.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist Aaron White with your 10 weather impact forecast here for today with mostly sunny skies. Highs around 90, but a few pop-up showers and storms are possible once again in the afternoon. And we'll keep those chances in the forecast here for Monday and Tuesday. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan. This is ONN.
The University of Wisconsin made some history last week. Their football program filed a lawsuit against another school's football program, the University of Miami in Florida, accusing the Hurricanes of tampering with a Wisconsin football player in a 2-year contract that player had signed with the school to market his name, image, and likeness and receive a share of athletic department revenue, something that will be allowed after July 1st for Division I schools all over the country. It's the first of its kind legal attempt to enforce the terms of a financial contract between a college football player and their school. That player, alleged to be freshman defensive back Xavier Lucas, left Wisconsin back in January and enrolled at Miami. That was after the Badgers staff reportedly refused to let him enter the transfer portal, demanding he fulfill the 2-year contractual obligation reportedly made between Lucas and the school. The complaint filed by Wisconsin claims a Miami staff member and a prominent alum met with Lucas and his family at a relative's home in Florida and offered him money to transfer shortly after Lucas signed a 2-year contract with the Badgers back in December. The lawsuit states Miami committed tortious interference by knowingly compelling a player to break the terms of his deal with Wisconsin. Paul Feinbaum covers college football for ESPN. He joined Ryan Baker and myself earlier this week on ONN affiliate WBNS FM in Columbus. Paul says he doesn't think Wisconsin should be going down this road.
I think it's a legitimate case where it's obvious that tampering went on, but I wonder if the judge is not going to look at the two parties and go, are you sure you really want to go to court and hear all the evidence? Because that's the dirty little secret. Everybody's cheating. Everyone listening knows that. And having been in court too many times early in my career in civil situations with when I worked for a newspaper, you really don't want to air the dirty laundry. I was involved in a case where we subpoenaed the NCAA files. We actually got them, and guess what? We found that there was nothing in there. They hadn't done any work. So this might be the opposite. If you start getting people, you start dragging players in there and giving depositions, saying, "Oh yeah, that guy offered me this. This one offered me that." I think both parties will end up looking bad in this.
Paul, that's interesting because I was going to ask you a question about lawsuits, and I was going to say I don't think the NCAA or these teams want these, because every time they lose one of these, I feel like they're closer to having to have these guys under contract and making them employees, which we know they don't want. But that was an interesting point from you. There's a lot of reasons the NCAA doesn't want these.
No, and I think at some point the NCAA has to accept. When Justice Brett Kavanaugh comes out in a Supreme Court decision 4 years ago and excoriates the NCAA and essentially is begging somebody else to bring a more significant case so they can break the NCAA apart, I think that is a clarion call that you never want to go to litigation. In some ways, I would have just as soon see the House case go to court, because I argued, not that a single person listened, that it would take so long to try, and all the dirty laundry would be aired, but you could probably have it appealed forever, and you wouldn't have had to be at this moment in time. I'm still not sure what was gained by the settlement.
A couple things that came out of it, the College Sports Commission and Brian Seeley, the new college athletics czar, for lack of a better way to title it. When does that step in and take over, if they take over anything from the NCAA?
Well, in theory, next week. It's easy to be a cynic, but I'm going to be, because I really don't believe, because of the reasons we have just discussed, he is going to be able to get anything done. He might be able to sanction a few people and fine a few people, but what does that mean? Does it really matter if the Big Ten fines Brian Day $25,000? We're talking about a guy that makes $12 million a year. So this is not like the rest of us, getting sanctioned. So ultimately, I don't think it will make any difference. And I know that seems kind of to be somewhat the de facto answer, but there will be minor sanctions. No one's going to lose very much over this other than something technical.
Paul, we were talking a little bit earlier about Brett Bielema and his appearance on the Triple Option podcast yesterday, and he said something that it seems like a lot of coaches have said. A lot of coaches seem that they want an equal and fair playing field and then enforcement of the rules along with that. Do you think we're ever going to get a point where those two things happen?
No, and I'm getting entertained by Brett Bielema. So a couple weeks ago he was coming after the SEC broadly. Now he's coming after Kirby Smart. Knowing Brett Bielema for a long time, the only thing that surprised me is understanding his voracious appetite, and he didn't bite the microphone and try to swallow it, because he doesn't seem to mind running his mouth. I would suggest maybe to Brett, worry about he had a good season last year by Illinois standards, but that means plus 500. I would worry more about maybe being successful on the football field, so he doesn't get fired there like he did at Arkansas, as opposed to running his mouth, making allegations that there is no chance in the world he can back up.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Save big money when you shop at Menards. Highlight your home's beauty with outdoor wall lights from Patriot Lighting. Shop a variety of style and color options in-store and on Menards.com. Now through July 6th, get $10 instant savings with a purchase of $75 or more on all stock outdoor wall lights. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers.
And I'm his very overpaid celebrity endorser, Common Man. Bob, I heard somewhere, actually from you many, many times, that Worthington Jewelers is where Columbus gets engaged.
It's too bad you and Timmy can't engage the audience.
Good zing, Bob.
If you're thinking of popping the question, there's only one place to go.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes. Take me out to the ball game. Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
Hey friends, Beamer here. So did you jump in on Awaken 180's Lose 40 by the 4th challenge? Well, if you did, well, a huge congratulations to you on hitting a 40-pound goal in less than 2 months. That deserves some serious celebration. Speaking from experience, I dropped double digits my very first week on Awaken 180, and in just over 3 months, all 70 pounds were gone. Total game changer for me, and the results came lightning fast. Now, if you haven't jumped on board yet, there's no worries. There's still plenty of summer left to lose your 30, 40, 70 like I did, or even 100 pounds or more. I'm not saying you're going to drop 40 pounds next week, but if you have the same week one results I had, you'll definitely be on your way. Set your sights in August. Think summer barbecue, golf, the beach. Every bit of it fits into your new Awaken 180 lifestyle. Lose weight, love summer, and thank me later. You can start today at awaken180weightloss.com, the official weight loss program of summer.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark, and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, What's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Want to know anything about the fans' contests, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
It's time to discuss Cincinnati Reds baseball and hear from Stephen Offenbaker of Locked On Reds.
A lot to talk about with the Cincinnati Reds right now. A big debut this week, a veteran getting DFA'd. We always like to talk Cincinnati Reds with Steve Offenbaker, host of the Locked On Reds podcast. Steve, let's start right there with the debut of Chase Burns earlier this week. Joins Johnny Cueto as the only Red to ever debut with 8 strikeouts. Chase Burns, he doesn't get the win against the Yankees, but man, he sure lived up to the hype, didn't he?
The only way you can describe that start is electric. He came out there in the first inning and was touching 100 on the radar gun. He's the first pitcher in the expansion era to strike out the first 5 guys that he faced. That goes all the way back to the 60s. You watch what he was able to do. He is clearly the real deal. Obviously, he's got some learning to do. They got to him there towards the end, and really the outfield play got to him there towards the end, if we're being honest. But what a debut. What a 1-2-3 punch he could provide heading towards a postseason run once Hunter Green's back. With Hunter Green, Andrew Abbott, and now Chase Burns, I wouldn't want to face that rotation.
And I think that's one of the things, Steve, about the Reds right now, because the Reds fans are as excited as they've been in a while about this team. And I know you don't want to look too far ahead, but if you look at a playoff series, if the Reds can make it there, you've got Chase Burns, Hunter Green, Andrew Abbott, Nick Lodolo, Brady Singer, all kinds of options with starting pitching.
You can never have enough pitching is what they say, and the Reds have gone out and collected some really, really good arms. The bullpen is, for the most part, living up to their job and the expectations that are being put on them. The Reds are positioned right now to go on a run. We've looked at this schedule. My co-host Jeff and I have talked about they just needed to be at 500 as they were going through this brutal part of the schedule, and then they had an opportunity to really make a run towards the All-Star break. They're exceeding those expectations. As you and I are talking, they're 4 games over 500. That's the best they've been all year long. They are poised to go on a run, and I am excited to watch this team right now.
One of the things that's plagued this team is batting against left-handed pitching. They haven't really gotten a lot from the right side of the plate, but we're seeing Matt McLain and Spencer Steer really start to get hot. How key could that be for this Reds team?
Very, very key. Spencer Steer has finally started playing like the guy that we thought he was. And it got worrisome there for a minute if he was ever going to figure it out or not. Maybe that shoulder was worse than we all thought. But he has come around. He was 3 for 5 in the second game against the Yankees, a big part of why the Reds were able to secure that series win the way that they did. And then you look at Matt McLain. While his stats still aren't there, it's because he started in such a hole. If you look at Matt McLain in May and look at him at the end of June, it's an entirely different player. He has turned a corner. He has played his way back to being the number 2 hitter in this lineup and being somebody that Terry Francona and this Reds team can rely on to get it done, not only defensively, but to get on base and give Ellie De La Cruz an opportunity to pick up some RBIs.
And they're going to need those guys in Christian Encarnacion Strand a little more. We get the news this week that Jeimer Candelario designated for assignment. He was in the second year of a 3-year, $45 million deal. Were you surprised that the Reds made this move? And what went wrong with this marriage between the Reds and Jeimer?
I was surprised that they made this move just because the contract dollars were so big. It's not unprecedented. They did this with Will Myers when he didn't work out, but his contract was a couple $1 million, something that they could absorb fairly easily. By them making this move, it tells me that they're serious about trying to win now rather than just shoehorn Jeimer back onto the roster because you've got to pay him. What it tells me about this team is that they all are looking at this from a lens of let's try and win. What went wrong with Jeimer? It was the kind of thing where he was looking at this contract as his opportunity to show that he could kind of still be a major league player, that he could still make it in the league. And it never quite worked out. I think that, Jeimer came along just a little too late in his career to really bolster this Reds team. There were flashes. He had a couple good months his first year here, but ultimately he never really just settled in and looked comfortable and contributed.
Steve, in our final minute, any update on Hunter Green and his injury status?
So he's still up in the air, and there are a lot of question marks around Hunter right now. The Reds are being fairly tight-lipped, which I guess I appreciate rather than them speculating. It's going to be a while still before we get Hunter back, and I think that realistically we're talking about late July before we would see Hunter back in the big league rotation.
It's hard to believe, but we're halfway through the baseball season already. It's nice that the Reds are still in the race at this point and not out of it. Steve Offenbaker of the Locked On Reds podcast, thank you so much for your time.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
More of the Ohio Sports Magazine coming up next on the Ohio News Network.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at ChangeTheGameOhio.org. That's ChangeTheGameOhio.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
While students may be out of school for the summer, Ohio's public school educators continue to work hard to make sure everyone can have a successful school year ahead. Whether you're taking part in professional development opportunities or working daily to keep our school buildings clean and running smoothly, we say thank you for your dedication.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Are you in need of basic dental treatment but can't afford the cost? There may be a solution. Hi, I'm Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, and I'm excited to tell you about a program called Dental Options. Dental Options is a partnership between the Ohio Dental Association and the Ohio Department of Health, in which qualifying patients can be paired with a dentist to receive discounted or even free dental care. Eligibility for the program is based on your financial situation. For more information or to apply, call 1-888-765-6789.
Does heel pain make you hobble just getting out of bed in the morning? If heel pain is affecting your ability to exercise and meet your walking or running goals, relief is as close as your local podiatrist. Podiatric physicians are highly trained doctors who specialize in medical and surgical treatment of the foot and ankle. Ohio Foot and Ankle podiatric physicians are available across the state and are devoted to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care.
For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Now, let's get some highlights from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Here's producer Colin Behringer to set the scene.
Thanks, Jay. This week on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, former NFL wide receiver Cecil Shorts III joins the show and says that the Browns need to vastly improve their wide receiver room.
I personally think they should have shopped in the draft. I think they should have shopped in free agency a little harder, but because you can't leave what you have right now. You can't. You're just not good enough in that room. And I do like the potential in the room, but potential means you haven't done nothing yet. That's all that means. So I love me some Mike Woods. I love me some Cedric Tillman. I love me some Jamari Thrash. The idea of them playing and what they can do is awesome, but they got to go out there and prove it, not only in practice, but they actually got to go out there and prove it when it comes to lights come on in the game. And the only one that really has done that I wouldn't even say consistently. The only one that's teased us a little bit is Cedric Tillman. So for me, they have to go out and address that position. Because honestly, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is back there. If you look at Jerry Jeudy and this is his best year in his career, can he do it again is the question for me, for Jerry. Can he go out there and do it again?
To catch the full breakdown, just search the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on YouTube, subscribe to their page, and enjoy daily content covering all things Cleveland sports. We'll be back to wrap up this week's Ohio Sports Magazine when we continue on the Ohio News Network.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
When you join the plus side with AAA, that's all you'll have to do. Or you could learn to change your own tire.
Hey fam, what's up? Today I'm gonna teach you to change a flat. Before we start, make sure it's not raining, or hailing, or lightning.
You can have AAA find you the right insurance policy, or you can shop for your own.
Hello?
I'm with Mega Insure. You requested a quote?
Yes, 3 months ago.
You could have our travel advisors plan your dream vacation, or book your own travel.
Woo! Panama City Beach! Spring break!
I thought you said we were going to Panama.
Wait, there's a difference?
Skip the hard work. On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio!
Right now, save up to $494 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Do your summer plans include travel? Make sure your prep includes more than just flights and hotels. Stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccination, especially if you're 65 or older or have certain health conditions. There have been surges in COVID-19 in the summer, too. It's important to help protect yourself no matter your destination. So check eligibility and schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. That's VAXAssist.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
As we wonder why our kids are struggling, someone is getting bullied. As we discuss how to improve their mental health, someone is being harassed on social media. As we wonder why they're skipping school, someone is crying themselves to sleep. Knowing the signs is the best way to prevent bullying.
Please just leave me alone.
Learn the signs at sandyhookpromise.org.
We got a higher home appraisal after we put away our African art and family photos.
Has this happened to you because of race or national origin? Contact HUD at hud.gov/fair housing. A message from HUD and the National Fair Housing Alliance.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Big thank yous to Tim Alcorn and Munch Bishop for being guests on this week's Ohio Sports Magazine. Thanks to all of our Locked On podcast contributors this week as well. For Colin Behringer, Eric Reeser, and Ryan Baker, I'm Jay Fox. Thanks for listening to Ohio Sports Magazine, and join us next week right here on the Ohio News Network.